Length of an arc. In a previous clip, we looked at how to find the circumference of a circle. To recap, to find the circumference, c, it is equal to pi, special number, multiplied by the diameter d. In this clip, however, we're going to be looking at the formula to calculate part of the circumference. For example, just a little bit of it. This is called an arc. If we were asked to find this arc, which is half of the circumference, first of all, you'd use the formula circumference equals pi multiplied by the diameter. Then, of course, you would half it, because you can see this is half of the circumference. So you're finding half of pi times the diameter. Don't forget, of in maths means multiply. Another way of saying half multiplied by pi times d, you can write it as pi d divided by 2, because a half of is the same as divided by 2. But for now, let's leave it like this. If we were then asked to find a quarter of the circumference, we again would find the whole circumference of the circle using the formula circumference equals pi times the diameter, and then we divide by 4, so there'll be a quarter of pi d. However, often when asked to find the length of a particular arc of a circle, you won't have such easy fractions of the circumference to work with. For example, a half, a quarter, etc. So that is why there's a nice easy formula to help us find any arc length. The formula is arc length equals theta. Now theta is the size of the angle between the two radii which have created the arc. So it's the angle here, divided by 360, multiplied by the circumference, which is pi d. Now this gives us the fraction of the circumference. You can see that more clearly here. So earlier we said a quarter of the circumference is a quarter of pi d, which is the formula for the circumference. Using our formula for arc length, theta is this angle, which of course is a right angle, which is 90. So substituting theta, which is 90, into the formula, that gives us 90 over 360. If we simplify this fraction, 90 over 360, dividing the top and the bottom by 90, you'll get 1 over 4 as expected. So you can see that by using the angle of the arc, it will give you the fraction of the whole circle. So the arc length is the fraction of the circumference. So let's have a look at this example. We're going to find the arc length, AB. So the angle created by the two radii from point A and from point B is 60 degrees. So using the formula, arc length is theta divided by 360 multiplied by pi d. So substituting in the values, we have arc length equals theta, which is 60, divided by 360, multiplied. Now we have the radius, which is 5 centimeters, and for the formula we need the diameter, so always be careful. So if the radius is 5 centimeters, we must make sure we multiply that by 2 to find the diameter, which is 10 centimeters. So then we have multiplied by pi times by 10. Putting this into the calculator, we get arc length is 5.24 centimeters to 3 significant figures. Here's another example. So arc length is theta divided by 360 multiplied by pi d. Substitute in our values. We have our theta, which is 45. So 45 divided by 360, multiplied by pi, then multiplied by the diameter. Now don't forget, the radius is 12 meters, so all the way across, so double is 24, so multiplied by 24. That into the calculator, we get the arc length is 9.42 meters to 3 significant figures. Now let's have a look at a slightly different question. This question, we want to find the perimeter of the whole shape. Now don't forget, the perimeter is the distance all the way around the outside of a shape. So that will be the arc length plus these two sides. Now you can see that as this is a sector of a circle, these two sides are the radii. So we need to find out what the arc length is, but we know that the radius here is 9, so this is also 9. Let's have a look at the formula for the arc length. So remember, we're finding the perimeter, so it's the arc length plus the 2 radii. So arc length equals theta over 360 multiplied by pi d. We have our theta, which is 60 degrees, and we have our diameter. It's going to be double the radius, so the radius is 9 meters, so the diameter is 80 meters. Substituting those values in, we get 60 over 360 multiplied by pi times by d, which is 18. So substituting these values into the calculator, we get arc length to be approximately 9.4247. And remember, we're finding the perimeter, which is the arc length plus the 2 radii. So we have 9.4247 plus 1 9 plus another 9. And that gives us the answer of 27.4 meters to 3 significant figures. Now it's your turn to answer some questions. Pause the video, then try these. How did you do? Here are the answers. If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then have another go.